Will you pray with me? Gracious Heavenly God, we thank you for the blessings of this day. We thank you for the power of your presence with us and within us. Gracious God, we thank you for the gifts with which you have bestowed each member of this board. So Lord, bless them with clarity. Bless them with wisdom for the decisions that they will make. Bless them with wisdom that they need to promote peace within our schools and to keep our kids safe. Gracious God, we love you, and we thank you for this opportunity to pray to you. Amen.
Thank you, Ms. Cotton. Next, we will have our Pledge of Allegiance, and tonight it's going to be led by Sofia Flores and Aretzi Pacheco from Bel Air Elementary. Just start right here. We'll follow you. The American flag's over on this side.
Face the flag.
You can face the flag, and the Texas flag on the other side. So, after you.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
All right, if you'll stay here for just 1 second, we're going to tell everyone a little bit about you, and we have some certificates for you.
Okay, first I want to tell you about Sophia. Sophia is a motivated and thoughtful learner who shines in her advanced academic reading program. Her commitment to learning is reflected in her placement on the AB honor roll, demonstrating both consistency and perseverance in her studies. As a Suzuki student, Sophia balances academic growth with artistic expression, showing well-rounded development. She is admired for her positive attitude, hard work, and dedication she brings to all that she does. And then Aretzi demonstrates excellence across multiple areas of learning. As a student in advanced academics for both math and reading, she consistently challenges herself and applies critical thinking to her work. Her dedication is further reflected in her place on the AB honor roll. Beyond academics, Aretzi is a proud Suzuki participant where she shows discipline and creativity. She also contributes her leadership skills as a member of the Bel Air Student Council, serving as a role model for her peers through responsibility, collaboration, and school spirit. Thank you, girls. Do you want another picture? Okay.
Tonight, the Board of Trustees is meeting in its regularly scheduled monthly meeting to officially act on the items included on the posted agenda. The Board welcomes and values input from the community. A single open forum will be provided during tonight's meeting to allow the public the opportunity to address the Board. During this time, individuals may share comments or requests related to both agenda and non-agenda items. Those addressing the Board are asked to limit their comments to 3 minutes per meeting. The speaker should identify their name, group affiliation, if any, and make a brief presentation with an identified solution if one is sought. Remarks should be addressed to the board as a whole. Oral presentations may not include charges against any employee or board member by name. It is my responsibility to determine if the person addressing the board has attempted to resolve a concern informally or through the district's complaint policies. If not, the speaker will be directed to follow the appropriate policy. The board requests that all presentations be made in a courteous, respectful, and professional manner and asks that speakers monitor their own behavior. If you wish to speak during one of the open forums, please fill out one of the cards located on the table in the entry hall. Next, we will review our board activity chart. I'll start with Ms. Cole.
You usually start on the other end.
I want
Okay.
to give you a chance.
Well, it's a busy time, as I feel like I say that every month, but we've been busy with football games and band events and all kinds of things. But the majority of the board attended the Texas EdCon School Board Conference last weekend. And we all participated in listening to excellent speakers and breakout sessions where we learned new things. And a couple of us also attended the TASB Delegate Assembly, where a new strategic plan for the organization was launched. I also want to point out that, was it last week or this week? Can't remember, but there was a great PTA luncheon that Dr. Harrington hosted for all the PTA presidents and leaders of all the PTAs at our campuses. And I just wanted to take this opportunity to say a big thank you to all of those PTA volunteers that we have in this district. They all do such a great job, and I think we're going to hear more about PTA a little later.
Mr. Campos?
As Julie said, this is a busy time of year, and feels like we have activities that we can go to every day, which is great because we get to cheerlead our community. The Chamber of Commerce this past weekend celebrated 70th year, and it was nice to be a part of that and see everything that was going on. It was difficult not to bid on some stuff. Obviously, attended several football games. Way to go, Bell, for pulling it off in the very last minute. Board Ambassadors has started up, and really excited to see our community involvement and learning about our community. I've gotten to attend a college and career fair now that I have a sophomore, and it's changed a lot. It's gone a lot more digital, and I'm really, really pleased, Board, with the activity and far-reaching colleges that come out for our kiddos. Yes, we did TASB, and I've probably had about a dozen meetings with different entities regarding TAD.
Anything? Okay. I just want to say another word about the Board Ambassador Academy getting started. It's a big deal that we've been putting on for, I think we counted 14 years. This is our 14th year doing the Board Ambassador Academy. So I just want to do a quick thank you to all the board members who are there and helped present that evening. I'd like to thank the entire ELT that was there. That was fantastic. The program's all about letting the community know the work of the district, and having that kind of transparency really helps with that. I'd like to thank Child Nutrition for doing a great job feeding all the ambassadors. Our culinary kids put together a great dessert, and Chef B, thank you. And everyone who recommended anyone to be part of the Academy this year. That's always very helpful. That helps us keep our numbers up. And thank you to Ty for helping put everything together and organizing. So, all right, any comments, Dr. Harrington?
I think the only reminder, we've got lots of fine arts activities, lots of athletic activities right now, and anybody who's looking for anything to do about any night, if you go to our website and check out calendars, we've got an event for you.
Yeah.
Or
maybe two.
Or more. And then just the big one this week, Friday is Bell Trinity Volleyball, so that will be an exciting night.
All right, any clarifications?
None at this time.
Okay. So we just talked about board ambassadors. So at this time, we're going to meet our student ambassadors here this evening. I'd like to say a quick thanks to our greeters this evening. You may have noticed the two students in the green shirts. These students are part of the HEB ISD Ambassador Program, which is a select group of students chosen through an application and interview process to be the face of the district. They are trained to assist with public relations and communication services and are given the opportunity to positively promote HEB ISD while developing leadership skills. Tonight we have Marissa Harris, a senior at Trinity, and Sky Griffin, a junior at Trinity. We've been using this opportunity to hear the voice of our student ambassadors by asking them a question. This month, the question is, as a student ambassador, you welcomed guests at this year's convocation and experienced our We Are HEB ISD theme, which promotes pride, unity, and belonging. How do you reflect these values as a student ambassador and help strengthen your school's connection to the larger HEB ISD community?
So good evening, faculty, board members, and students. My name is Marissa Harris, and I would just like to say that I'm so honored to be here as a first-year student ambassador. So yes, as student ambassadors, we are expected to uphold the We Are HEB ISD ISD theme, which promotes pride, unity, and belonging. So pride for me, being proud of HEB is honestly easy in itself. I'm so proud to go to this district. There's a reason that we're ranked so high among districts. There's a reason that people want to come here, and I think it's because of all the good and wonderful things that we offer in this district. And how lucky am I to say that I'm proud to be a part of this district, and I'm proud to be a student here. And then unity. I think one of our best and most distinct factors is that we are so diverse as a district, and I think that as a student, that's one of the most important characteristics of this district to me, is just our diversity, and I think that really, really unifies us and lets us come together. And then belonging. I think I've never been a part of something where there is truly a spot for everyone. When you come to HEB ISD, there is truly a spot. I'm involved in band. I have been involved in clinical rotations and various clubs and organizations all over the schools. And every single time I tell someone that I'm involved in clinical rotations, they tell me how lucky I am and how they didn't get to experience that in high school, and they never got to experience that if they're in high school right now or if they've ever been in high school. And I'm so lucky to be part of a district that offers those things and where everyone has somewhere that they belong. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. My name is Sky Griffin, and as you heard Marissa talk, me and Marissa are both very, very proud to be a part of HEB ISD. It's a culture, it's a community, and I'm so lucky to have the opportunity to be a part of it. Pride, especially at Trinity, is a big deal. We're very prideful. You can see us at football games. We're everywhere. Okay, and it's very important to us. Unity. To me is, being, as Marissa was talking about, we are a very, very diverse, school, and that diversity really, really makes HEB what it is. The diversity to me makes HEB ISD feel more like, instead of just like a district, another district, it's a family. It's a place where we belong. Whether it's, sitting at lunch tables, inviting others, like that sense of belonging is so important to us and a lot of our peers. And yeah, thank you guys so much.
Thank you, Marissa and Sky. All right, next we are going to hear from the HEB Education Foundation, reports to community. Brad Parker.
While she's getting that pulled up, that's a hard act to follow. Goodness gracious. It really, it helps so much put in perspective what we do as a foundation board. I'm here tonight on behalf of the HEB ISD Foundation Board. It's my great honor to be standing in front of you to present. I'm Brad Parker. I'm with the Parker Law Firm, and I have the distinct honor of this year of being chair of the Foundation Board. And I'm going to share no more than about 45 minutes, okay, with you, but we'll make it go fast. As I mentioned, it's just an honor to be here. I've known many of these people for a long time, and have gotten to know better. It's under your leadership and guidance that HEB is what these young people just said it was. You've done a wonderful job of making that. I know I moved here 30-something years ago to bring my girls to HEB for the very reason that the schools were so good out here. One of the few, couple of my board members are here. I'd like to say thank you for being here, Mike Collins. And I'm gonna do it again. I started, but they're here tonight. I called them the wrong name the other day at the luncheon, and if y'all someone were there, I was fixing to do it again. But thank you so much for being here and supporting me as we do this. The foundation's mission is to raise and award private funds and community resources to support HEB ISD's commitment to excellence in education. And all foundation board members and many in our community choose to support this mission through our annual Superintendent's Circle of Giving. I guess I pretty much moved that wrong. And that started out June 5th. We have a real weird year. It's June to June, or June 1st to May 31st. And our Circle of Giving is a way to raise some money by members of the community. We have a number of different people, as you can see, that contribute to that. Juris, who of course is doing a lot of the work in the district right now, and just a ton of different community members and players. We are already 70% on our way to our goal for this year, and it's only been 3 months. So we're very, very proud of that. We also received support from the HEB ISD staff through our grant program. And last year, we had a phenomenal year. Dr. Harrington allowed staff who contributed to the grant campaign to wear jeans for the month of October. We had over 700 school staff members contribute to that campaign. We were hoping to get $10,000. We got $13,000. Every dime of which went to the grants that we award to the school teachers and the kids. So we were very, very proud of that. And I think word on the street is we're going to have the same incentive this year. Yep. All right. So with that incentive, I think we'll be easy to meet the goal that we've given ourselves again this year. As I said, the campaign is Inspire, Innovate, and Invest. Are you in? It starts in just a few days. October 1st will be our first day. We were really proud that we were able to award over $100,000 last year in 27 grants to 31 different classrooms. That was phenomenal. It's the first time we've done it. We're hoping to do it again this time. You know, we've got a ton of different grants. It's really interesting to sit on the grant review committee and see the ideas that the teachers and staff come up with to help the kids. You know, they just need a little bit more here or there. And our teachers do such a wonderful job coming out of their pocket already to help the kids. It's just so nice to be able to help them a little bit more to get them over that edge. And so we look forward to doing that. One of the great grants that we had is in the third year of a 5-year plan with Texas Health Resources, in which they are funding clinics so the kids can go through the clinics. And I suspect that's what she was talking about a minute ago. But it's a really neat program. It's just really fantastic. The other event, we've raised over $2 million in grants since the development of the grant program. Now think about that for a minute. That's significant. Over 30 years, we've done $2 million to help these kids out and the teachers. We also have approximately $2 million in our foundation right now, and we're continuing and working very, very hard to increase that endowment amount, because we give a certain percentage of that grant amount, that endowment amount, every year. And we use that money, the teachers' campaign, and a few other things to support the grants each and every year. Again, one of the things we're doing this year is it's our 30th year as a foundation. And so therefore, we're trying to raise $30,000 for 30 years. Joris, again, has stepped up, as has Gary and Wendy Hamilton, the law firm of Brackett and Ellis, and then, of course, Shaylin Clark with State Farm, who was last year's chair. In short, we couldn't do these things without the involvement of the community and the support of the community, and, of course, the board of directors, the superintendent. Y'all make this thing great. Thank you so much for giving us the support and allowing us to help you. Thank you.
Thank you, Brad. It's been a great partnership, and we really appreciate everything you and the Education Foundation do for our students and our teachers. So thank you so much. Next, we're going to get our PTA Council update. Sarah Valentino.
Good evening. I'm Sarah Valentino, Council of PTA's president. Our mission is simple yet powerful: to make every child's potential a reality by engaging and empowering families and communities to advocate for all children. Over the past year, we've seen incredible progress, and I'm honored to share a few highlights with you tonight. First, I'm thrilled to announce that our family has grown. We now have 29 local PTAs with the addition of the Collegiate Academy of HEB ISD PTA. Their president already has a list of creative ideas, and I know their impact will grow right alongside their program. Next, I'm proud to say that as of yesterday, 23 of our PTAs are in good standing with Texas PTA. Just for some perspective, at this time last year, we only had 12 that met that goal. And I'm sure with the next IRS report that all 29 will reach that status. But tonight isn't just about numbers. I want to share a story that embodies the heart of PTA, the story of the self-proclaimed little PTA that could at Harrison Lane Elementary. And I'm pleased to tell you that some of those PTA members are here with us tonight. If you want to wait, yes. In 23 to 24, their PTA ended the school year with no board and no elections. They went inactive over the summer. But with the help of their principal, I reached out to former board members and volunteers, and together we rebuilt. Kelly Ramsey stepped up as president, and others filled key roles. And with council support, they were back in action before the school year began. Despite the rocky start, they ended the year with 109 members and the Golden Apple Award for 100% teacher and staff membership. Their small but mighty team pulled off spirit wear sales, student incentives for attendance, a fall festival, family nights, cookies with Santa, a spring picnic, field day concessions and inflatables, and teacher appreciation, all while pouring their hearts into their campus. This year, with a new board of 5, they're already achieving membership awards and setting the pace for everyone else in the district. And what humbles me most is knowing that 2 of their board members, their president Kelly and Berkeley treasurer, have faced some serious health challenges this past year, yet they keep showing up with smiles, determination, and unwavering love for their students. Recently, Kelly also shared with me that volunteering at Harrison Lane has really helped fill her cup and helped her get through the lows of her illness. Their story and so many others like it remind me that PTA is not just an organization. It's a lifeline of hope, resilience, and community. And finally, I want to recognize each of you and our superintendent, Dr. Harrington. This summer, Dr. Harrington was named Superintendent of the Year by Texas PTA. And not only him, our entire school board joined us at the Texas PTA Launch Conference to celebrate. This award honors his leadership, but it also reflects the hard work of our volunteers, the strength of our PTAs, and the culture of support that we've built together. We are now known across Texas for our PTAs and our advocacy for children, and that is something we all share pride in. I'm deeply grateful to serve alongside you, and I know that together we will continue to show what is possible when families, schools, and communities come together for our children. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah, and congratulations to Harrison Lane. So thanks for being here tonight. Next, we're going to meet our National Math Stars. Ms. Harris.
National Math Stars is a multi-state program that identifies students with exceptional math talent and provides them with 10 years' worth of support to accelerate their education. Each year, thousands of second and third grade students are nominated, but only a small fraction are chosen for this special opportunity. Out of more than 4,500 applicants from across Texas, these students stood out as some of just 200 selected as finalists. First, Apollo Kapoor from Bedford Heights Elementary.
Congratulations. All right. You want to get your picture taken? No, with me.
Hey, Colin. Turn your seat there. Hold up. There we go. Let's do it again. Do that whole thing again. All right, we'll do that one. There we go. All right.
Our second finalist is Yamna Masad from Arbor Creek Elementary. In In 2025, National Math Stars identified 100 students as stars. As a National Math Star, these students will receive long-term support from third grade through high school at no cost to the family, weekly one-on-one math mentoring, advanced math learning opportunities, STEM enrichment materials, and opportunities and invitations to math competitions and summer camps. Please join us in celebrating these students for their hard work, curiosity, and love for math. First, we have Niharika Shrestha from South Euless Elementary. Levi Bogus, who went to Spring Garden before he moved to Birdville ISD.
Your mom's gonna want to see your face. It's yours.
And finally, we have Xiaotong Xu from Viridian Elementary. And we have the Quest teachers and principals all back there and their families very proud of these math stars.
Yeah, let's get a big group picture. Come on, principals.
Yeah, principals.
Come on, principals.
I'll let you guys see what you wanted.
All right, principals, go on behind them. All right. That's a good picture. Yeah, everybody get their picture. We're good. All right, very good. All right.
Congratulations. All right, next we're going to get to do something that in my 13 years we've never gotten to do in a board meeting, so it's very exciting. JRLTC. This is our first rank up pinnings. Master Chief Ronconis.
Yes, sir, and thank you everybody for being here today. Again, this is an honor to be able to do this. These cadets have laid the foundation to what we're doing for this ROTC program, along with Cadet Ensign Lee over there, Johnson and Eric Lee, our executive officer and operations officer, and who couldn't be here today, our commanding officer, which is Cadet Lieutenant J.G. Prosperity Williams, have built something, or starting to build something. And these cadets here sacrificed their time before school ended last year and during the summer to put together this to color guard and other things that we're doing now within the school district. And I just want to give them again a round of applause for what they're doing. So cadets, fall in. So first thing we're going to start off is we're going to start with the promotion of E2. Cadets, attention. Letter of promotion from Command Master Chief Alex Rincones, USN retired, to Cadet Jones, Cadet Rodriguez Armbruster, Cadet Howie, Cadet Perry, and Cadet Parker. Subject, appointment of the rank of Seaman Apprentice, E2. Congratulations. Effective immediately, you are hereby appointed to the rank of Seaman Apprentice in the HEB ISD NJROTC program. With this promotion comes greater responsibility. As an E2, you're expected to set the stronger example for junior cadets and to contribute positively to the success of the unit. Your appearance, conduct, and performance must always reflect favorably on yourself and the HEB, ISD, and JROTC company. Continued advancement will depend on your ability to uphold these standards and take on additional duties as required. This promotion recognizes your effort to this point and is expected you will continue hard work, demonstrate pride, and show initiative as you grow as a cadet. Signed, Master Chief Rincones, myself. Congratulations again. Now at this point, the families are going to come put their pins on their collars. Please, families. Straight up now. This is pretty great. All right. It looks good. Looks good. Now we're going to letter of appointment for Cadet Branham. Please, front and center. Letter of appointment from CMDCM Alex Rincones, USN retired, to Cadet First Class Madison Branham. Subject, appointment to the rank of ensign. Congratulations. Effective immediately, you're hereby appointed to the rank of ensign and to the position of an officer in the HEB, ISD, and JRTC program. You have demonstrated the ability to take charge of major events and activities, applying sound problem-solving techniques to plan, organize, and execute with professionalism. This achievement reflects your commitment to excellence and your potential for greater responsibility. NJROTC officers hold positions of respect and responsibility within the unit and the school. They have earned the rank through hard work, discipline, and experience. They are expected to demonstrate an exceptional knowledge of military and naval subjects. As an officer, you are a personal example to junior cadets and a representative of the company, the faculty of HEB ISD, and your fellow students, and the surrounding community. Your conduct must always reflect favorably upon yourself and the unit. As an officer, you bear the direct responsibility for the morale of the battalion. Spreading rumors, participating in cliques, or showing prejudice or favoritism undermines unit cohesion will not be condoned. You must always strive to build unity and foster respect within the ranks. This appointment is both an honor and a solemn responsibility. Uphold the highest standards of conduct, leadership, and integrity as you fulfill your duties. Congratulations. Signed by myself, Master Chief Rincones. And now the family will pin her ensign bars. Now, in tradition of becoming an officer, within our JROTC, we're going to now have the first salute from Cadet Perry. That's right. Hoo-yah! Oh, come on. Hoo-yah! Hoo-yah! Navy Cadet?
Navy Pride!
Navy Cadet?
Navy Pride!
Hoo-yah! Cadets, fall out. Thank you.
Thank you, Master Chief. Thank you, students. This program has been a long time coming, and we're so happy that it's here. I mean, it was so exciting at Convocation to see them do the presenting the colors. It's a great program. It's gonna keep getting better, I know. All right, next we will be presenting our certificates of appreciation, so I'll turn it over to Ms. Cole.
Well, this has been a very exciting night already so far, but we have one more exciting piece of business. We rely, as you heard, on the Education Foundation. We rely on all of our volunteers in PTA, but we also rely on our business community to support us. And this month, our grand total of donations is $92,818 from this community. First up, we have Board Member Fred Campos. He has a certificate to present to Atmos Energy. This is a $1,000 donation to Midway Park Elementary to help support back-to-school teacher engagement. And Jess Austin will accept the certificate. Mr. Campos has a second certificate. This is a $500 donation that was made by David Rosenblatt to South Euless Elementary to be used to support instructional initiatives for teachers and students that will promote data-driven practices. And Dr. Angie Serino and David Rosenblatt are here to accept the certificate. Thank you so much. Are you still reading in costume, Mr. Rosenblatt? Okay, very good. All right, next up we have Board Member Chris Brown, and he has a certificate to present to Leroy Glenn. This is a donation of $2,500 to LD Bell High School, used to purchase football equipment and supplies. It will help to provide a new stereo system for the junior varsity and varsity football locker rooms. Randy Belcher is here to accept. Next up, we have Mr. Brown has a certificate for Brackett and Ellis. This is a $1,000 donation to PR and marketing, and it was used to help the cost of T-shirts that were purchased for HEB ISD employees to wear at Convocation. And Dave Nilsson is here to accept. Next up, Andy Cargile has a certificate for Huckabee Architects. This is a $500 donation that was also used to cover the cost of T-shirts for Convocation for all HBI and ISD employees to wear, and looks like he's pulling double duty tonight. And in fact, you should both stay there because the next one is a certificate to Frost Bank for a $1,000 donation to PR and Marketing Department for the T-shirts at Convocation. Next, we have Dr. John Began, who has a certificate for Superior Fiber and Data Services. This is another $1,000 donation to PR and Marketing for the T-shirts at Convocation, and Mr. Nielsen is going to accept. And Dr. Began has the big one tonight. This is for Simmons Flags and Poles. This is to HEB ISD Athletic Department. This is a donation of $85,318 in flag poles, flags, and lights that will proudly display and highlight the district's school spirit. The large American flag will help to sponsor patriotism, unity, and civic values. And tonight we have Steve Simmons and Mike Fielder. Please.
I've lived in the Bedford, Euless, Colleyville area for, gosh, a long time. All my kids went to the Bedford schools, HEB schools, and I've been doing this for 54 years, and usually it's somebody that's wanting to do it for advertising. Some of them are patriotic, but most of them for advertising. But this is the first time that I've done a school district, and it's really nice to see, just like in politics, where politics starts with the city governments, the pride that the children and kids have in their school. And HEB is promoting that by flying these flags, these big flags, on these poles at their football games. And then they promote pride in the school district as well. The HEB flag looks great. I didn't get to see that. We make all the flags and flagpoles. And then not only that, but most importantly is you promote patriotism. And we need a whole lot more of that with things that are going on in our world, and especially here in the U.S. I also want to say that we have 40,000 square feet of manufacturing in Irving, and anybody that'd like to come by for tours, well, we give tours for groups and anybody that comes in. And I'm so proud to be able to donate this stuff to you guys.
We have had many comments on Friday nights about how awesome the new flags look, so thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you so much. Those flags are fantastic. All right. Next, we will have our open forum. Are there any cards this evening? No cards? All right. Then we are going to adjourn into closed session. Pursuant to Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code Chapter 551, the board will adjourn into closed session pursuant to sections 551.071, 551.072, 551.074, and 551.076.
Sarah.
I hear it too, like a buzzing.
And a second to accept for the board to approve the consent agenda as presented. Please vote. Does it pass 1-0? Did everyone vote, or has it popped up?
We can see it on our screen. Okay.
Okay, so the motion passed? Okay. All right, we're ready for reports and presentations. Employment, resignations, and retirements. Were there any questions on this report? 10.02, presentation of efficiency audit by Weaver and Tidwell, LLC. Mr. Williams.
Good evening. So back in June 9th, earlier this year, we brought to the board to hire an auditing firm for our efficiency, to conduct our efficiency audit in conjunction with the voter approval tax rate election. The board chose Weaver Tidwell to do that, and as such, they have completed that audit. We got it on September 5th, which was within the time frame allotted to receive that audit. And here tonight to present their findings to you is Mrs. Sarah Dempsey with Weaver.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for having me this evening.
You've probably got the report in front of you, but I'll go through and just kind of talk through some of the highlights in here. So this is required by House Bill 3 that the Legislative Budget Board put together these requirements that were tested during the course of the agreed upon procedures as part of the efficiency audit. And it's really to provide information to the users of the report to see the efficiency of the district, the utilization of resources, the number of students, and compare those to the peer districts. The district's election will be held on November 4th, so there is that timeline that was just mentioned of having to present the report in plenty of time for it to be public. So it's conducted in accordance with the AICPA, so the LBB has the procedures outlined, and then when we do our audit, we're doing it in accordance with the AICPA. And the data is from the 2023-24 fiscal year. So what we did is we looked at what the peer districts would be to compare HEB to, and this is a list of those peer districts that were chosen. It can be based on proximity, student needs, financial resources. So this is the list that we chose. So McKinney, Grand Prairie, Carrollton Farmers Branch, Northwest, Mansfield, Keller, Eagle Mountain, Saginaw, Birdville, Grapevine, Colleyville, and Crowley, as well as Keller. So when you look at the performance measures, the accountability rating that was used in the year that all the districts were put together to compare, the district had an accountability rating of a B, a score of 88. The peer districts had a C and a district score average of 79. And then the year that was selected, the first rating was a rating of A for HEB ISD. When we looked at student counts, HEB total student counts were 23,000, and then the peer districts averaged close to 25,000. And this is the breakout showing economically disadvantaged, comparing HEB, and then the averages below that are the peer districts of those 10 school districts that I just mentioned. So you can see HEB has more economically disadvantaged than the peer districts, more English learners on average, more bilingual. The special education is a little bit less, and then a little less on the career and technical education. So for percentage of total student counts, this is what that looks like as a percentage compared, HEB compared to the peer district as well as the state average. So again, just showing where HEB is a little bit higher, lower compared to the peer districts, and then the state average was also included. For total revenue per student, HEB's revenue per student was about $11,404. The peer district's a little bit higher, and then the state average was also a little bit higher. So they're getting more revenue per student, whether you can see with the state average, that state funding number is a lot more. So, just looking at that, you've got the local M&O tax, your state revenue, your federal revenue, and then those other local and intermediate revenues are more like investment earnings and things like that. So that's the revenue per student. Then when you look at expenditure per student, again, the revenue was a little bit more than your expenditure per student, whereas your peer districts had a little bit more expenditures, and then the state average was a little bit more as well. And this is how that breaks down from a dollar amount. So you can see it broken out by instruction, general administration, the student support services, so where those expenditures are being recorded in your financial statements. And then the percentage of expenditures is probably a little bit more interesting when you compare it to the peer districts and the state average. You can see that more of your funding is going towards instruction and related services, which is where you want to see that. So I think this is good information. For payroll and staffing, again, 80% of costs is very normal, and that's in line with peer districts and state average. Your average teacher salary is a little bit higher, which is nice. And then the percentage of total staff, the teachers to percentage of total staff is right in line as well. I think another thing to point out here is your teacher turnover rate is a lot lower than your peer districts and your state average as well. Unassigned fund balance, this is really that fund balance that's used for operating activities. So that's what we're looking at when we're taking HEB ISD's unassigned fund balance and comparing it to the peer districts. There's a lot of things that can go into fund balance. You can restrict it, you can commit your fund balance, you can do different types of things to set it aside. And what we see here is the trend where HEB's fund balance per student has continued to grow, starting with the $1,400 back in 2020 to almost $2,600 in fiscal year 2024. And then again, the unassigned fund balance compared to as a percentage of those 3-month operating expenditures, again, you just continue to see HEB increase there as well, getting to close to 112% by 2024. So those are some of the figures that we put together. They're in the report. There's a lot of charts in there, a lot of data, but I'm here to answer any questions if you want to talk through anything that you've read.
Sarah, I got one random question. Is there any order to the 10 comparisons? I mean, McKinney being the first one and Crowley being the 10th one?
No, we didn't do any sort of order. Mm-mm.
Do most of those comparison districts already have Vaders passed?
A lot of the districts do. There are not very many that don't.
Yeah, when we started this process, for some reason I was thinking there was like some rubric and it was like a pass-fail thing, like, yeah, you are efficient enough or not. But it's really just for information for the community so they can see how we stack up against other
Right, just to make sure that it is being efficiently used, the resources are there. Yeah, if it was a pass-fail, I think this is a pass for sure.
Any other questions? All right, thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
All right, next we will have our safety and security update. Mr. Phillips.
All right, good evening again. This is just our beginning of the year report, just to give you guys and everyone else an idea of where we are. Try to do this at y'all's request, that we do one at the beginning of the year and one at the end of the year, just to take a measurement of how we are doing in all things safety and security. So these are the things I'm going to talk about very, very briefly, but emergency operations plan, our safety and security committee, district safety projects update, threat and crisis team update, and then our elementary SROs in House Bill 3. So our emergency operations plan, this opens every year, usually around the 1st of September. It opens September 2nd this year. It'll close on October 2nd. I'm happy to say that it is completed. We reviewed it with the Safety and Security Committee this week, which is required now by TEA. So I know that Julie and Matt were there, and it's riveting information. But we were able to go through all of that and just look at the overall design and what does our emergency operation entail. And usually, typically, it's just how do we respond to emergencies in our district. So there are standards the state sets, and as you can see on the chart here, we prepare, we respond, we recover, we mitigate, and those are the phases that the state requires. Again, it was reviewed by the committee last week, and then I also just wanted to let you guys know it's nothing that's happening right now, but if you'll remember back in, I think 2 years ago, was the last 3-year, we have to do a full 3-year evaluation. That will come out again this year in January of 2026. It'll be due by the end of May 2029, but that is, we do security assessments at every campus, just as a group every year anyway, but the state has a really in-depth, it's called the District Vulnerability Assessment, which is, it's about a 20-page document for every single campus, which requires us to go into depth on all the different things in the campus that the state is requiring us to look at. So that will be coming open. You guys will hear me talk about it more in January, and then I'll send you out copies of what that looks like. But it takes a team. Last time I was able to finish up what Robbie Ball had started, but they're about 5-person teams that we send out to the campuses, including campus administrators and safety team members to get this done. So our Safety and Security Committee, we had our first meeting last week on September 18th. This is required now to meet a minimum of 3 times in person a year. You can meet more if you need to. What we were doing last 2 years was more Zoom calls, but now they're requiring a in-person meeting at least 3 times, once in the fall, once in the spring, and then once in the summer as soon as school is out. Anytime that we have a failure of a random intruder audit that always comes to the board, that also now has to be reviewed by the Safety and Security Committee before it goes to the board, just so that the committee has an opportunity to discuss and see if there's anything that we need to be doing differently.
And who are the people that make up the committee?
So there's 12 required positions. So it would be the school board president, another designee from the board, whoever Matt wants to have. This time was Julie. If somebody else wants to come next time, you can, but it just requires another board member there. Then it requires Dr. Joe or a designee. It requires your safety and security director. It requires at least one local police officer and one SRO. 2 administrators, so we have a principal and an AP, and then 2 teachers, and then 2 parents.
And are all those positions filled?
Yes.
The parent position?
Yes. Our safety and security projects. So did talk to you guys, I think, last month, just letting you know where we were with the emergency responder radio communication system. That job is complete aside from the actual installation where our maintenance department is putting the roof boots on that require the wiring. But the radio antennas for our first responders are in, they've been delivered, and that should be complete within the next 2 weeks after maintenance gets done installing the roof checks. The secondary campus antenna installation, those antennas have arrived as well. So those were, if you guys remember, I asked during the summer for an extra antenna just for our staff radios because of the larger, especially on secondary, where we just weren't able to hear. The first one was installed today over at Bell High School, so once we reprogram those radios, that will be ready to go. So every time we put up a new antenna, we're also going to have to pull up all of the staff radios. So as you can imagine, at Trinity and Bell, we've got 150 radios to reprogram, but they can knock that out in a day, so that's pretty good. So hopefully within the next 2 or 3 weeks, all of our secondary campuses will have their new antennas installed as well. Our access control, so this was part of the initial ask from me back in October of 2023, or 2022, of making sure that every single door, exterior door, has an access control for our teachers so we can get away from the key, using physical keys. So we have 128 left, and those have been ordered. We're working on a installation schedule, but hopefully within, I'm not sure how long those take, but we'll have those. Every campus is getting about 3 to 5. So we will have those all in, and that project will be completed. So that'll be another one of the 8 projects that we started back in October of 2022. That'll be another one off the list. The last one, cameras and servers upgrades. So that RFP came through this summer. We are in the process of meeting with Hanwha right now. We have the wiring and cabling done. Now it's a matter of ordering the cameras. So we will sit down with them one last time, make sure that we have the right cameras for the right placements. The really good thing, I've been frustrated, and I talked about this in EdOps the other day when we were discussing, it's been frustrating to wait 3 years to get this project finally done. The great thing is technology is amazing, and it has advanced so much that even though the camera systems and the camera software that we've already ordered is even better than we picked out 3 years ago. So the AI technology that we will be able to use to the point of if we don't have alarms in the school. Instead of having an alarm, if you can have staff members' photo IDs put into the system. So if a staff member shows up on the weekend or shows up at 10 o'clock at night, the camera will know that that person is allowed to be here. If somebody were to show up in one of our schools that's not supposed to be there, then myself and the rest of our team will get alerts. And so we would be able to send law enforcement out there immediately. So very excited that that's coming, and the new servers. So each school will have their own server now, and that will create an environment of them not losing any information on video cameras. So the fact that they will have their own servers in so much space, it'll be a huge advancement for us. All right, on our threat assessment, you guys do have, I think you have the sheets. I pulled the 2022 to 2023, 2023 to 2024 statistics, just to kind of show you a trend. I've put this year's statistics and last year's up there. What you will see is that what we're doing this year has changed on how we're actively looking and drawing up the statistics based on what the state is asking for now. We don't ever want to. We used to do open cases and closed cases. Well, the state has said, and I agree with this, is we don't want to ever close a case. A student's case will close when they graduate. So they might not be actively monitored, but we're not closing the case, because anytime that student, it may have been 3 or 4 years ago, but if something else comes back up, we already have a case monitoring system program in place, so we're just able to reactivate them. But so far, these were the numbers that were accurate as of Friday. We've had 230 threat referrals received so far. We have done 40 interviews. Out of those 40, 7 went to the screener, which is just the initial. We're going to walk through a 2-page evaluation of, does this elevate to something that we need to vote on as a threat team? And then we've already completed three threat assessments this year. So we have 31 open cases, and you'll see that last year's school year ended with 24 open cases. Well, the reason that's higher now is because we reopened those cases that we classified as closed. So we have 31 open cases. We're only actively monitoring 19 right now.
So Dan, now that we've got 3 full years of data, and hopefully the positions that we've created give you what you need.
Yes.
I'm interested in just the process here, and there's some defined terms that I want to make sure that I have an understanding of. So when it says threat referrals submitted, who can submit them, how are they submitted, and who do they go to?
So that is what we're using through Raptor Student Safe, the program that we purchased 2 years ago. Anybody, any employee of the district, any of our faculty staff can submit a student concern. So they all have access to Raptor, they all have access to Student Safe. 90% or so of the referrals that come in are usually from campus administrators. It's usually from a principal or an AP. But what this has given us the opportunity now is teachers who are obviously with the kids more hours a day, if they see something that they're concerned about, they can submit a referral. So those referrals come in. There's 7 of us. There's the 3 safety and security members, and then the 4 crisis team members. So those come in. First come, first serve. Whoever sees it first will look at it and evaluate, and then a decision will quickly be made. Is this something that we need to respond to the campus, or is this just something we file away in the students' in their account of this was horseplay, or this wasn't a true threat, but it was concern. So a lot of times we will call back to the campus, talk with the person who submitted the concern, just get a little more insight from them, and then we'll make a determination on how we respond.
Are students able to make a submission?
They can't through Raptor Student Safe, but they can through Crime Stoppers. And that's one of the things, I didn't put it in here, but Dr. Johnson and I were talking about. So you see if you see something, say something, that's the Department of Homeland Security program that's out there. Crime Stoppers, even though it's an antiquated name because it does a lot more now. I'm working with them on doing a new ad campaign for us where it may still say Crime Stoppers, but it'll be a QR code kids can scan. You can report bullying, you can report drug issues, you can report student concerns.
So if a Crime Stopper submission is made, is that included in the threat referral submitted?
No, it is not.
Okay.
No.
So it's a separate number?
That's a separate number of how many we do. And we probably get, I would say we average maybe 25 to 30 Crime Stopper reports a year.
Are they treated differently in the intake?
No, and I can tell you that it may be that they're in the number, because when it happens on a campus, then we send it to the campus gets a copy and safety team gets a copy. And so if the campus decides on their evaluation that they're going to enter a referral, then they'll do that.
Okay. What does the threat referrals number include any of our beacon warnings?
Yes. So all of our beacon reports, when we get a beacon alert, and so there's 2 different kinds. There's ones that are specifically just for counseling, and then there's ones that are. So I only get, myself and Ray and Valen, we get the threats. So when there's a threat concern or a counseling referral concern on a beacon alert, then we have a system where we contact the campus. We send a screenshot of what the beacon alert is. We typically will go have that student pulled from class, either from the counselor or from the AP, and we'll evaluate why that alert came up.
Okay. So of the threat referrals submitted, there's a beacon bucket, a raptor bucket, and a Crime Stopper bucket. Are there any other buckets that make up?
They're all the raptor bucket, because if it comes through on Crime Stoppers or it comes through on beacon, and then it does rise to the level of a threat, it's going to get put in student safe.
It's under the raptor umbrella?
Yes, yes.
So is that a better way to think of it?
Yes.
Everything's under raptor?
Yes.
It could be either raptor-specific, Crime Stoppers,
Correct.
or beacon alert?
It might be that the information came from Crime Stoppers, or it came from beacon, or it came from we have, a Google safety alert that does just specifically emails, that if something is going on between two students talking on their emails, we might get a notification there.
Okay.
And then all of those are referred to the campus to allow the campus to make the decision on how they want, whether they want to submit that as a student safe referral, or whether it's being handled on the campus.
So once the referral comes in, is the next step, if it's deemed warranted, to go to this threat interview that's conducted? How do you evaluate the referrals that come in and determine which ones get interviews?
So we have developed our own system. We've gone through basically a CI process. What constitutes an evaluation, what constitutes an immediate response, what constitutes a conversation with the campus. So when they come in, based on where that falls, and whether, if it's a 300 or 400 level discipline type threat, we're going to go to the campus. Because those are going to be things of threats of violence or weapons or anything like that. So there are some that are automatic responses, and whoever's available, whether it's a secondary campus, elementary campus, it'll be one of our threat coordinators, and it'll be one or two counselors from the crisis team that go over and do the initial screener.
Do you have the people in place to conduct all of the interviews you want to conduct? Are there interviews?
We're not missing anything. Could I use more people? Always, but we're not missing anything.
Okay, so the interviews that are conducted, you feel like those are the ones that need to be conducted?
Yes.
And we're not interviewing any
Correct.
that should be interviewed?
There's nothing that is sliding through the crack because we're too busy on other areas.
What happens to the referrals that don't get an interview? Is that where they stop?
So in Raptor Student Safe, we can say we looked because the person that submitted it will get a response, the campus administrator will get a response, and the campus counselor will get a response. And we will say, basically, threat team looked at this, no further action needed. It's just classified as a tier, what we call it on our team, a tier 0.
What if they think the person who submitted it thinks you missed the mark? And they really need an interview.
We've had that. Sure. There's not absolutely. So we have had, very rarely, but we have had situations where they will call back and say, I'm really concerned, and maybe I didn't articulate it the way that I needed to, but I really want somebody to come talk to this kid.
Okay. So after the interview, is there a next step? Or in the bullet pointed list, is the interview where it stops, or is the screener and assessment? Are those the next?
So the screeners and the assessment, the assessment where the team meets every Thursday. So if it's going to get voted on, a voted on threat assessment will be done by the team on Thursday. If a screener, if we deem that it didn't rise to the level of a full threat assessment, then we send it back to the campus, and we work with them either on a campus safety plan or some kind of plan of action of what they can do to help that student. If there is a threat assessment completed, then the parents are notified, and then the campus is notified, and then we absolutely, on every completed threat assessment, we do a campus safety plan with that student.
So I'm going to just make sure I understand. So it goes through a threat screener. That's where the voting happens?
No, the voting happens, so they do the interview.
Okay.
Then they bring it back to the threat team, and they say, here's the interview we did. So a lot of times we'll do an interview, but it doesn't rise to the level of needing a screener. If we say it rises to the level of being a screener, then we come back to the team, and then the team decides, does this need a full vote for a threat assessment?
Okay, and what's provided in a screener?
So screener is usually a 2-page interview process through the counselor and through the threat coordinator of going into depth on the questions. I can get you guys a copy of what those look like, but there's a standardized form for a screener and a standardized form for the full threat assessment.
Okay. So a screener is different than just an interview?
Yes, yeah. So when we're doing the interviews, that's trying to find out exactly what happened, why was the statement made, why was this action made. If you can usually tell pretty quickly, especially the fact that we've done well over several hundred of these now as a team over the last couple of years, this is going to be a screener. We're going to have to go into a little more detailed information, and so then the counselor will start filling out the screener information, and then we'll bring it back to the threat team.
Okay, what happens next?
So then, once the threat assessment, if it goes to threat assessment and a full vote, then the threat assessment is an 8-page document. It's the Virginia Tech model is what we use, but its acronym is CSTAG. Can't tell you offhand exactly what that means, but that's what the state of Texas has adopted. So we go by the form that the state tells us to do. We do that full, and that will include interviews with staff, with family, with teachers. So in that interview, so we may go back to the student and do a little bit more in-depth, but in a full threat assessment, we're looking at multiple levels, whereas a screener, you're just looking as, does this rise to the level of a threat?
Okay. And so once the threat assessment is done, then what happens?
So when the threat assessment is done, then the campus receives and the parents receive documentation of what is, so when you get to the open cases, or now we're calling them actively monitored cases. So those 19 students that are being actively monitored, that means the campus has a safety plan. Doesn't mean that all the staff knows what it is, because we limit the information for privacy, but the administrators will know, the campus counselor will know, and then any staff members that are involved would need to know. But that can include safety concerns of we're going to do random backpack searches. We're going to do weekly meetings with your AP. We're going to do weekly meetings with your counselor. You're going to get visited once a month by the threat team or the crisis team to come over and what I call just do an oil check with them. Come in and check and see how you're doing.
Okay. Thanks for explaining that.
Mm-hmm.
What happens at the end of the school year over the summer?
So
Open
I'm very proud of this because it came up, we were asking the same thing the first year. What are we going to do with these kids where there's 3 months of nobody being involved? So all of our community policing officers and our mental health police officers that attend our threat meetings, at the end of each year, we give them a list of our active cases, and those officers go and they interact with those kids over the summer. And that may be just stopping by. I know we had one of our community police officers playing catch with a football with one of our kids because he went to check on him. Kid was sitting around and said, I wanted to throw the football with somebody today, but my friend didn't show up, so the officer hung out with him for a while. So they're getting interaction over the summer. If there's any type of criminal activity or if there's any type of additional threat stuff that comes up, they call and let us know. A week before school starts, the police departments come back in and hand those cases back over to us with notes on all their visits, how this kid's doing in their opinion based on the visits that they've had. Did they have any issues over the summer that we need to be aware of?
How did that go this past summer?
Awesome.
Building on it.
Awesome. Yeah, so this is the 3rd summer in a row that we've done it. And the police departments love it and our threat team loves it because we don't have a missing period anymore with the kids that we're concerned and trying to help.
Great. Thanks, Dan.
Yes, sir. All right, let me see this next one. Just to give you a quick SRO update on House Bill 3. So we do have 11 of our officers in place, and I wanted to show you guys this picture because we've had questions. You'll see the regular Hurst-Euless, that's Officer Robert Harper. He is in full uniform. He is an elementary SRO, but he was the first one, and that the city of Euless, he's still a full-time Euless officer. He's not part of the ESRO program. The other officers there with the uniforms that have the white stripe across, that is our new elementary SRO uniform. So we went through and worked with Euless so that they would be standardized uniforms. Same with the police cars. All of the police vehicles say ESRO on the side. I don't have a close-up of the patch, but the patch says HEBISD ESRO on it. So even though they are all being hired through the city of Euless, all of their, no matter what city and campus they're on, they all look the same. So 2 more are being processed and brought on right now. We have 4 waiting for interview. And then when I talked to Officer Brian, who's in charge of the program and supervising it, he said that we actually have 6 more that he's looking at right now. So really, really hopeful that we're going to hit that 21 number very quickly. And then I think you guys know that the ultimate goal is to have about 30, 31 so that these officers can rotate and work 2 or 3 days. They're all recently retired. The one thing that I've seen that I really like is that once this program came into place, all 3 of these officers that you see here are officers that retired within the last 6 months. They had their time on, didn't know if they were ready to retire. The program came open and they said, I want to do that. And so they still have to meet the same firearm qualifications, same physical, everything that you have to meet as a regular USPD officer. Our ESROs meet those standards. And that's it. Any questions?
All right. Any questions for Dan? Thank you, Dan.
Thank you, guys.
All right. 10.04, Advanced Placement and International Baccalaureate Results. Ms. Harris.
Hi, everyone. I didn't bring you any more entertainment. Those kids were really cute, weren't they? Yeah. But I felt like Taylor Swift because I have a squad. So Susan O'Calla, facilitator, Julie Watson, the Bell AP coordinator, Julia Wilson, the Trinity IB coordinator, Jennifer Garcia, the Bell IB coordinator, and sitting outside is Mr. Lindsay. Everybody know Mr. Lindsay. He was the AP coordinator at Trinity last year, and both the principals are here. So we're not as cute as those National Math Stars people, but this is what I could bring. So everything that I'll discuss here tonight will fall under CCMR, specifically the key actions of increasing scores of 3 or higher on advanced placement exams and 4 or higher on international baccalaureate exams. And we'll get started with AP. So we can see these comparisons to state and global, and just want to remind you that these encompass all 7 of our traditional schools. We have AP Human Geography at all 5 junior highs. Euless Junior High also has computer science and now Spanish language, and Hurst Junior High also has Spanish language and has for a long time. So they're included in all these statistics. Here's our exam score distribution. On the left pie chart is last year, 2024, and then on the right pie chart is 2025. Remember, we're looking at 3s, 4s, and 5s, so we saw increases in all of our what would be considered as passing scores on AP. So that's good. The College Board recognizes students who take multiple AP exams and achieve certain scores with these honors. So we had 10 more students earn AP Scholar with Honor as a district, and 26 earn AP Scholar with Distinction. Then we'll look at our IB results. There's our class of 2025 from LD Bell and Trinity High School. They're a great looking group, right? Here's our score distribution. Remember, this one is laid out with the highest number on the left, so 7 is the highest. And you can see our comparison from 2024 to 2025. Here's our 4-year trend. Our candidates registered are all the students, juniors and seniors, who were signed up to take an assessment, and we increased by 56. Our diploma candidates, those are our seniors, increased by 51. So then the subject entries would be higher because there are more kids testing. And then our passing score is 82% for 2025. For our cohort right now, our 11th and 12th graders, we're just a little under and just a little over 11%, so they all round to 11%. So in other words, 11% of our juniors, 11% of our seniors are in IB across the district. Our program is very large. I tell you that every year. We are in that last row, the greater than 200 as a district. There's 148 other programs in the world that are that size. Just for grins, I looked at the list of countries in the Americas, and our HEB program is larger. more students than 22 out of 30 countries in the Americas. HEB has more students than 22 out of the 30 countries. So we're very big. We're bigger than most countries. Kind of a fun fact. Here are global comparisons, but there is a mistake on the average number of diploma candidates per school. It's actually 75. That's my typo. I apologize for that. It's we're going in a better direction, so I hope you forgive me. We actually have an average of 75 per school. The global average is 31 per school. And then here's our tracking along with global. So of course, we're the green line graph. Global is the blue line graph. You can see we stay close to a little above, a little below. So for last year, we were, as a district, a little below the global average. But of course, Julie and Jennifer both have very concrete, very solid action plans on areas where they're going to be able to make some tweaks and changes there. And then finally, to wrap that all up, we had 2,366 HEB students take 4,868 IB and AP exams. We had 3,504 passing scores for potential college credit. And I want to add to that in AP, 51% of those students were qualified as economically disadvantaged, and in IB, 46% of them qualified as economically disadvantaged. So the assistance that this district provides for students in terms of assessment is what allows us to really reach this number of students in our district. So for that, I say thank you.
All right, any questions on the report?
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Harris.
Thank you all.
All right, 10.05, measures of academic progress, beginning of year report. Dr. Norgard.
All right, good evening.
Sorry.
Clicker, like I would have to use a mouse or something? Goodness. All right, thank you. I am coming to bring you our MAP, Measures of Academic Progress, beginning of year report. This is connected to our strategic plan for our 3rd through 6th grade students. It would be connected to the growth that they're going to show on STAR, and for our younger students, it would be those end-of-year targets on our early literacy and math assessments. I always want to remind you when we start talking about MAP, because this test is very different than so many that we do, because it is norm referenced rather than criterion. With a STAR test, everybody could get a perfect score. Everybody could get a 0. It does fall in between that. But on here, it's always about how you compare to other people, which also allows our students to really excel. If I got that perfect score on STAR, I don't know, is that really exactly what I knew, or could I have done more? Or if I got 0 right, where can my teacher even start with me? Because if I got nothing right, she doesn't know how far down to go. So that is a difference with our norm reference, but we do talk about percentile, not percent correct. We have been administering MAP for several years. We began with 3rd through 6th grade in reading and math. We wanted a way to chart growth as we were thinking about STAR tests. But as we have transitioned early numeracy, we went to M-Class Math when we were first required to begin testing that. We were not happy with that, and we were happy with math, so we switched to K2 Math MAP last year. And this year, for the first time, we have added K2 Reading in place of where BASS used to be. So when I bring our first early literacy report that you're used to seeing, we had DIBELS and TRC or DIBELS and BASS. Now that will just be DIBELS, and this K2 MAP in reading provides another layer of information. Beginning of year, I'm just talking about achievement because we're starting off our year where our students falling. When we get to middle and end of year, we'll expand that conversation because we'll talk about how have our students grown. So MAP is computer adaptive. It is always looking for that sweet spot of learning for every student. So it starts me with a question based on the last time I took MAP or just my grade level and age information. Otherwise, right in the middle, every time I get one right, it gives me something a little more complex. When I start missing, it comes back down because, again, it's trying to find that exact right instructional level. This is why we don't look at percent correct, because different students will have different numbers of items, but really they're almost all going to get 50-ish% correct, because that's what it's finding, that spot where I know enough that I can start understanding and connecting that information, but I don't know it all. I'm in that zone of proximal development. The score it produces, while we do have percentile information, is called a RIT. RIT is actually not an acronym, it's Rosh Unit, squished together. And it's the same score all the way from kindergarten up through 12th grade. We're only using it through 6th grade in our district, but that's what allows a student, you can easily see when a student has moved beyond their grade level and into the next, because it was a continuous measure instead of a discrete. 2nd grade only knows this, and 3rd grade only knows this. There's overlap. You can see the overlap when you think about that bell curve. So a high-performing 3rd grader could overlap into the 4th, or maybe even the 5th, or a few into 6th grade and beyond, or a low-achieving 6th grade student may fall into the same range as a younger grade. And we get these norms at fall, winter, and spring because, of course, those targets move. Later in the year, we think they should know more. So before I start showing you the bands and bars, this is what you want to keep in mind. If everything in our data was a perfect bell curve, it all fell exactly as expected statistically, in each of those quintiles, exactly a fifth of our students would fall in each one. And the median performance would be at the 50th percentile. So really, if you keep this part in mind, when we look at the bars, we're looking for where we differ from the standard curve, and we want to skew right. We want to skew towards the blue and the green is what we're hoping to see. So let's look at the performance. This is for reading, kinder through 6th grade. We do see smaller red, more blue and green. I want to talk about 2nd grade for just a moment. I mentioned early on, K2 reading, this is our first year administering this test. We added K2 math last year. 2nd grade, you have choices according to NWEA. There is a K2 version of the test and a 2.5 version of the test. So in order to see that maximum potential, if our focus here is on growth and how far can a student come, the recommendation, we met with teachers, advisory groups, our assessment office, looking at all the recommendations from NWEA, and had decided last year when we started with Math Map that we would use the 2.5 so that our students can show us how far they can extend. So we added for 2nd grade in reading, they're also taking the 2.5 measurement. With that measurement and NWEA, the way it is administered, the 2nd graders have a text-to-speech, and it's reading not just their problems, but it reads the passage as well. So we're seeing higher scores. So at first, this is a new test for us, and teachers are like, wait, I know that child is not, I would not have expected that score from this child. It's a teaching moment to help our teachers, our instructional specialists, and ourselves learn how to marry this data with our DIBELS data. Because when the passage is read to me, if I can answer all these things, I was comprehending. So what's my problem? My problem, I need to go back and look at DIBELS with my phonics, my phonemic awareness, and those kinds. So they do layer together, but it was a little unexpected for some teachers. They're like, I'm not sure. It was their first year giving MAP. So that is an opportunity that we're taking to educate there, because that is highly skewed. And you'll see when we look at cohorts, 2nd grade math and reading do not look like each other. But lots of green and blue, and when you look at that median percentile line, instead of running right through the middle of the yellow, we're either on the right end of the yellow bars or even in some cases into the green. So that's what we would like this to look like. Then I'm sorry, was there a question on this one? Okay, sorry. For math, we also see more green and blue, smaller red bars, and again, running 2nd grade that was skewed the other way is actually almost right there through the middle for that median performance, but to the right end of the average band on all of ours. So when we look at each grade of students and their reading and math together, with the exception of that 2nd grade, you'll see that they're very close. So these are their percentile bands, but then also the number to the right is the actual median percentile performance that you saw with the dotted line. So you can see very close, 54th and 57th percent is our average percentile performance. In 1st grade, very close to each other. 2nd grade looks different. So again, that's how are we reading this data and using it and making sure actually it can give us an even clearer picture. We have to learn that it's not just that first look at the data that you're blue, you're good. Third grade, very close. Fourth grade, fifth, and sixth. So we're seeing very consistent performance between the cohorts. So key points from our data, everything is skewing the direction we would like it to, and in fact, into the high average at 3 different grade levels for reading. So it's not just that second grade exception. We're really closely aligned between math and reading. And what are we doing with this data? Again, this has identified that sweet spot, that zone of proximal development. MAP gives our teachers so many reports to talk about, put these groups of students together in an intervention group because they all need this skill. Who's ready for which next pieces? So this really helps, but because it's norm reference, not criterion that's going to cap somewhere, it's not just about who needs support, it's who needs extensions over on this end. So all of that data comes with them through the tools and resources and reports that teachers have in MAP. Do y'all have questions for me?
I have a question, Holly.
Yes, sir.
So this is the beginning of the year report. So in the beginning of the year report, we just discussed achievement. Middle of year, end of year, we added growth. We have the growth data for the beginning of the year, right?
No, they're going to grow from beginning to middle of year.
So in the reports that go home with the parents with the MAP scores, it has growth data.
If it is in a grade from EOI to BOI, they may be reporting that growth.
So do we have and have we evaluated the growth data that has gone home to the parents?
I'm evaluating at the district level, and I have not seen all the student level individual reports. I could look at representing that in a way. When you look at the norms, when I said there's different norms for fall, winter, and spring, there's summer slide and some other things, because you can look at some, the typical norm for beginning, for example, this may not be the exact right grade, but like 4th grade beginning of year could be behind a 3rd grade end of year. There is slide accounted for, and so sometimes those things are hard to summarize and bring together, but I can look at pulling some data that might be what you're
I'm not
thinking of.
necessarily interested in getting additional data from the board.
Okay.
But what I want to understand is if information is going home to parents with their MAP scores, and it has the RIT, but it also gives them growth, and that growth data isn't coming to us. I want to understand why parents are getting different data than we are.
I can bring it. Yeah, we can bring that back
The
too.
other thing is, if it's not a true measure of growth, then it doesn't also need. If it doesn't need to come to us because it's not a true measure of growth, does it need to go to the parents? Does it give them a true sense of growth?
So one of the things that, for us, that we focus on is that for us to analyze the data from the end of the year to the beginning of the year doesn't really do us a lot of good, because we're focused on where's that kid in this moment so that we can focus on driving them forward. But as you say, MAP is providing that data, and so we don't want anybody to be confused, but it's really for a different measure for us. Does that make sense?
Let us review. I'm not familiar with the format that's going home. We'll review that and make sure we understand exactly what is going home as far as if it's information we need to bring here, but also make sure that it is valid information, because we should be able to control what MAP is printing out.
And clarity, we can, because that is generated by NWEA, not us, so we can also check that clarity if that doesn't make sense to parents.
Right, because it makes sense to start growth in the middle of the year reporting to us. It may make sense to start reporting in the middle of the year for parents.
And we may have that choice. We'll look into it, even though the report is generated by NWEA, that may be something we can toggle.
Or
and
just
we'll
an explanation, cover letter, say this is what you're getting about.
I don't have a question, but I just want to publicly thank you for taking time out to speak with Representative Bourjani while he was doing some work in understanding changes to the tests, to the STAR test, and from one test to multiple tests. So
Yes.
I know you spent a lot of time with
And
him, and I anticipate more time coming.
Yes, and the two new tests will be norm referenced and then an end-of-year criterion reference. So this is good that we're all getting used to and understanding what it is that we're looking at.
Yeah, but my guess is that the conversations that we had this special session will continue through the next session, so we'll come back to
Right,
this
because it doesn't implement until after the next session. So, but we have some pilots and things that TEA has already rolled out for us. All right.
Anything else?
I will not steal the clicker.
All right, thank you, Holly. Thank you for leaving the clicker, Holly.
Johnny called me, I called Holly.
All right, we're ready to do our action items. 11.01, there were no items removed from the consent agenda, so 11.02, consider approval of update to the 2025-2026 staffing table, new units. Ms. Tuttle?
All right, so I am asking tonight for you to consider 7 units. One of these is a teacher behavior specialist that will go to a specific campus for this time period, and it certainly is a district unit and can be reassigned in the future, but for now, it will take care of some specific needs on one of our self-contained units at Lakewood Elementary. And then we're also coming to you to ask for 6 FOSSI teacher assistants. And those are at elementary campuses. We continue to receive new enrollment students in our special education program and want to make sure that we're serving them and the other students in those units appropriately with our ratios. Any questions?
Any questions? I'll accept the motion.
I move the board approve the new units in the staffing table as submitted.
Second.
I have a motion and a second for the board to approve the new units to the staffing table as submitted. Please vote. And that motion passes. 11.03, consider approval of the use of Title I Part A and Title II Part A funds for TK Education Consulting. Mr. Gerbo?
Good evening. Thank you for the opportunity to present this to you. We have an agreement that was approved in 2024 for education consulting from TK Consultants. We've had some additional funding availability through federal funds, and due to the final, I guess, what do you call it, the settle up, and then unused payroll funds that we had anticipated. So we're asking to reclassify these funds and recapture those funds back into the general operating fund.
All right. Any questions on this item? I'll accept the motion.
I move that the board approve the use of Title I Part A and Title II Part A funds for TK Education Consulting as presented.
Second.
I have a motion and a second for the board to approve the use of Title I Part A and Title II Part A funds for TK Education Consulting as presented. Please vote. And that motion passes. 11.04, consider approval of renewal of VM software revision. Dr. Hopkins.
Good evening. Okay, in August, you were able to review this board item. Dr. Began, you asked a question at that time. Do you remember the question you asked me?
I do. We've seen some significant increases in the cost, and what I was curious about was whether or not we expected that to plateau or to continue to increase in those large amounts that we've seen recently.
Yes. So I don't think that Broadcom or VMware were listening to our board meeting, but after that board meeting and after that approval, they actually released a new pricing structure for schools. It comes in a 3 or a 5-year contract agreement, but we are able to get out of our contract at any time. It does just provide some pricing stability and the ability to budget and project a little bit better for our budgeting needs. So what we're bringing to you tonight is just the revision of that at a lower cost, where we were looking at almost a 75% increase. We are now about a 20% increase per year. So a great savings for our district year over year. Any questions?
Any
Thanks
questions?
for playing along.
I'll accept the motion.
I move that the board approve the renewal of the VMware software from GovConnection, Inc. under Louisville ISD contract number F1072B-23 as presented.
Second.
I have a motion and a second for the board to approve the renewal of the VMware software from GovConnect, Inc. under Louisville ISD contract number F1072B-23 as presented. Please vote. And that motion passes. We are on to other business. Does any board member have any items they'd like added to a future board agenda? All right, I'm going to take a real quick moment of privilege. I was just updated on our dates to remember that our groundbreaking, is it the groundbreaking at Wilshire? Is that the right one? Is going to be on October 8th.
Yes.
Yes, we were,
At 9 a.m.
Julie and I were just looking at that, but I can't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah, so board, please add that to your list and get those on your calendars if you can make it to that groundbreaking. I unfortunately will be on vacation and won't be able to make it, so I'm sure we'll have good representation. Let's see, 12.02, consider approval of North Texas Area Association of School Boards 2025-2026 membership renewal. Did anyone want to speak to this? Any questions on it? Then I'll accept the motion.
I move the board approve the North Texas Area Association of School Boards 2025-2026 membership renewal.
I have a motion and a second for the board to approve the North Texas Area Association of School Boards 2025-2026 membership renewal. Please vote. And that motion passes. Do not need a second closed session. There are a lot of great things on our schedule for this week. You know, of course, there's a football game this Friday, but we also have the band bash coming up on Wednesday, where all of our bands from all of our junior highs and high schools will be there. And then this weekend is the HEB marching contest, which is a huge contest and a great fundraiser. It draws in some of the best bands from the area, and it's a good fundraiser for our high schools. I will accept the motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
We are adjourned.
That